Welcome back to another episode of Paranormal Puffs
and Murderous Mixology stuff.
And welcome to the internet's only true crime comedy podcast with just enough dark humor to keep it going. We're not going to make fun of victims. We're not going to make fun of tragedies, but we will make fun of silly life shit because we all go through it.
You missed a very crucial part, Bob.
What's that?
We also do paranormal shit.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I don't like that shit, though. Yeah, we do paranormal shit. It's unfortunate you could just not listen to those episodes. No, just kidding. Some people like that. Yeah, you're not going to find another show like this on the internet. I've looked for more than 30 seconds, and I couldn't find one. Marissa has a drink. I smoke weed, or I used to. I can't afford it anymore. But yeah, so sit back, have a drink, have a joint. And you might be wondering if this show is for you. This show's for you if you just got out of a sober house.
What?
This show's for you if you have too many kids. This show's definitely for you if you're still using an Obama phone. Okay? This show is also for you if you used to buy weed in parking lots. Okay?
Oh my gosh.
That shit is sad, and I remember those days. This show is also for you if you work a 9-to-5 job that is complete shit. You work too many hours, and you have to do Uber to buy your kids pizza, and then you burn your kids' pizza, like I just did. We're in here trying to do this podcast for you guys, and my little boy stumbled in and said I burned his pizza. And he's right, I did. I burned it to shit.
He said that? He said it was burned?
No, it's fucking burned.
Oh.
And so now we're not going to be able to buy any food for our kids.
But do you know why that happens, babe? Because you don't believe in timers.
No, I don't like timers. As a cook, you don't have to use a timer.
If you just simply put the timer on, things wouldn't burn, my love.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
I wanted to add on to what you were saying earlier because this thought popped in my head earlier. We first started dating and I bought you that huge bag of weed.
Those were the days when you used to put out.
No,
I remember those days. Those were good.
No, but do you remember when I was trying to be sweet and I'm like,
why did you put out the best in the beginning too?
Because I was drunk for 6 months straight.
No, but there's a lot of women just like you that they con guys in. Man. They con guys into dating because they always.
You said you loved to drink.
They put in their best sexual efforts in the first few months of a relationship. They front load the sex. And then it's just you're just stuck for the rest of the relationship and you're just going, what the fuck happened there?
If you wouldn't have lied to me about saying that you love to drink.
I do here and there, but not every single day. It's not in my genes.
We were drinking literally every
with
single
you,
day.
It's in your genes.
Partying every single day.
Yeah, I was trying to make you happy because you were making me happy. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, and so I guess.
And I can drink for a few months straight and then never do it again. Pretty much, I'm not like.
That's how it is. I feel like you haven't drank ever since.
Yeah, I don't like to
drink. So I can ask you the same questions.
I can, but for you, it runs in your genes. It's thick on both sides.
You were literally the first person I ever could drink with, and I think that's also
that's because other people you dated did heroin.
No. Anywho, moving on. So no, this thought popped in my head. So remember that one time I was trying to be really sweet when
you bought me some weed and then the weed wasn't enough?
No.
Because you thought it was a lot and I smoked it in a day?
Yes. Because you were buying these tiny little bags of weed from the people on the street back when weed was illegal. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to buy them this huge bag of weed. And I'm like, it's going to last you forever. And literally, I think it was gone within less than a week.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I think I remember that. I do. Yeah, that was cool.
It was so big.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh.
No, it was like a quarter, I think.
It fit in one of those big Ziploc bags.
Yeah, but I mean, remember the days where you're just waiting on some douchebag
because we used to work in a restaurant, yeah.
That was better when you work with the person, but if you have to wait on them in a parking lot, they're always late.
Oh, you're talking about the drug dealers. They're always late.
And they're just blowing you up with lies, I'm going to be there in 5 minutes, and then 45 minutes go by, and you're just you're just thinking, why do I even do drugs?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't even want to do drugs anymore. And those people are the reason that you ultimately quit one day. And those people, they end up not doing so well. So don't be on the other side of it. Don't sell drugs, kids. That's just not good.
Yeah, the moral of the story is don't sell drugs.
Yeah. But anyway, if you do sell drugs or you don't sell drugs, if you know about drugs, you're probably going to be into this show.
The moral of the story is you'll like the show.
All right, cue the music.
To Paranormal Puffs and Murderous Mixology stuff.
So what are we doing this week?
Oh, so what am I drinking today is what you meant to say.
No, I can see what you're drinking. It's just some vodka. You got this $10 jug.
Oh my God, yeah.
You got a huge jug of vodka. It's that gas station, like gasoline.
You know what
vodka.
I would like equate it to?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever drank 99 bananas
or
before?
sanitizer?
Yeah, it's like 99 bananas. So
It's just called sanitizer.
It hits you so hard and it
Yeah.
comes so fast and furious that you don't even get like the small tipsy stage or the buzz stage. It goes straight to like drunk. Like last night, like I just had one shot and I feel like it just hit me.
Yeah, once we make it big, you're gonna drink better shit, and then once we like lose all our money and bad investments and partying, you're gonna be back on.
broke.
You're gonna be back on that shit. So I can definitely see it in the
Enjoy it.
beginning and in the end. This is the shit you're gonna be on, but in the middle, hopefully, you can drink some better shit.
And just live it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that is that for that part. Oh no, but I'm drinking a what am I drinking? What is it? A Bay Breeze. That's what it is. That is what I was going to say. I'm drinking a Bay Breeze.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know what that is,
We used to drink those all the time.
It's basically just vodka and juice.
Vodka, pineapple juice, and cranberry juice. Babe, we used to drink this all the time.
Yeah.
Is that not like reminiscent?
No, because
Okay.
we used to drink a lot of shit.
We used to drink a lot, babe. Okay. So are you ready for today's story, babe?
I could not be more ready for today's story. What about all you guys? Yeah, I'm ready. No, I'm ready. We're doing the show in front of a live audience, by the way, so that's what you hear in the background. Yeah, fuck yeah, do it.
Okay, so today's story is going to be a paranormal story.
Oh, okay, never mind, guys. I was getting so excited because our last episode actually had like more than 2 views, and I got like a thumbs up, and I was super pumped. And she wants to do a paranormal episode because that's how my girl is. She knows exactly what to do to turn me off. Is your girl like that too? You know, I was looking forward to
story
today's
turns me
episode
on
for the.
so much.
I was looking forward to doing this show day for the first time. You know, and then she has to do a paranormal fucking story.
Baby,
so that's fine.
But
That's
no,
fine.
but
That's fine.
Can I
That's
tell you
fine.
why I chose this one? Because
Yeah,
our
I
very
already told you
first,
why.
our very first episode that
Yeah.
we did, you
Yeah.
were questioning why don't alien abductions happen to multiple people?
Oh, not this stupid shit
so
again.
this story is 2 people getting abducted. So what do you have to say about that, Bob?
The same shit I say always.
You said before, why doesn't it happen to multiple people? So now
No,
it's
I
happening to
think
multiple
because
people. So now what do you
I've
have
never
to say?
said that before because we've talked about alien abductions and alien sightings that have happened to like a whole village in like Brazil or something.
So do you believe that one though?
No.
Why don't you believe that one if it's happened to a
No.
whole entire village?
Because there's also like, you know, I mean, you know, if it happens to a whole village, normally that village is not very advanced. And it's like they just got the internet. They just have one cell phone in the entire tribe, and they're just stuck there looking at porn. And what they think is an alien is actually just a SpaceX satellite.
But didn't they have like weird side effects afterwards?
No, not that I can remember.
Okay, well, anywho, I don't want to hold you up too long. But today's episode is going to be about the famous Betty and Barney Hill case, where 2 people were abducted by aliens. So, we ready to get into it?
Let's hit it.
All right, let's hit it. So, Betty and Barney Hill, a newlywed interracial couple from New Hampshire.
Nice. That reminds me, I fucking like banging girls of different
Oh, yeah, that's
skin
like
colors
us.
than me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like doing that. You know what I mean? And they like it. And I recommend that. So anyway, go on.
Yeah, so let me just add that they were an interracial couple like
Nice.
back in the day,
Yeah.
like in the 60s. So this was not a common thing.
Does she do anal?
I have no clue.
Okay. Yeah.
But just keep that in mind while I tell this story.
Interracial. That's part's important. you
It
guys.
is important because
What kind of interracial?
he was black and she was white.
Oh, nice. So let me guess.
My grandparents.
Let me guess. He's
kidding.
like
My parents.
a really skinny black dude, and she's like a really fat white girl.
No. They were like normal looking people. Okay. So they were.
That's like that's a lot of the interracial couples out there. I see a black.
Babe, what
and
about
white.
us?
You said black guy and white girl.
Yeah.
You didn't say white guy, black girl.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
the
do you
only way that interracials can be like the same body style is
No,
if it's
I'm
like
saying
reverse.
no. I was just saying, you know, a lot of the interracial couples that are black guy, white girl could be skinny black guy, in shape black guy. It's rarely ever a fat black guy, but oftentimes it's a pretty thick white girl. Okay, and that white girl, you can tell that she throws down in places like the kitchen, in places like the bedroom.
Throws down.
Yeah, she throws down.
She puts
you know,
out.
You could just tell looking at her, you know what I mean? And yeah, so that is an archetype for that kind of relationship.
Are you talking about my brother?
Listen, Your brother's not the only one. This literally covers like 1 million couples, you know, not just in this country, but everywhere. If you look around, okay, and like I hate to break it to you, okay, but that is a
Can
lot
I
of
have
a
an
big
arguing point?
I personally have not seen.
What about my parents?
Your
Bam.
mom is not. Your mom is also black, basically.
Baby, this is the first time I've ever heard you refer to my mom as black. First off,
Well, I mean, she's not white.
she's German.
Let's not get so specific.
Fuck. Okay, anyways, back to the story. Betty and Barney Hill, they were a newlywed couple. They were living busy lives. Barney worked a grueling night shift at the post office. Betty was managing a demanding job as a social worker.
You know, night
After
shift at the
16
post
months,
office must be terrible, by the way. Like that's
why?
just because you're probably it's like skeleton crew. It's just you and millions of packages.
Just like sorting stuff?
Yeah, and you just like
I would fuck up that job so much. I can't do jobs like that because I'll fuck up really bad. Like,
Yeah,
I'd make careless mistakes.
I wouldn't be for it. I mean, it doesn't sound
Unless I was
like
like on Adderall, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's you a lot of the day, so. That's you in your perfect theory world, if you were just on Adderall all the time.
I love some good Adderall. Well,
Yeah.
I was diagnosed. I don't want you guys thinking I'm a pill popper.
Yeah,
I was
we don't want
diagnosed with
we don't
ADD,
want you
and
guys to
it's
think that
changed
she
my
did
life.
not get a fake diagnosis from some fake quack
Babe,
doctor.
I took the Tovo test.
Yeah,
and
the Tovo test, my
they said
butthole.
it
You
was
guys download that test
black
online.
and white, like textbook.
Oh yeah,
my
yeah,
diagnosis.
Yeah,
That's
no
what they
shit.
said.
Because you Googled the test beforehand and what to say.
No, babe,
Yeah.
the Tovo test you cannot fake.
Okay, is it a questionnaire?
No, it's like a game you have to play, and then you have to click the dot, and then it gives you back your results. And I'm telling you, they said I had textbook.
So it's just with dots?
Well, there's also a questionnaire before.
Okay, so that's
and then,
what I was saying. It's the questionnaire
But
that's
the
important
Tovo
too.
test-
Look at the scoring sections on that and tell me that the questionnaire is not the biggest part of that, okay? And you
Okay.
can fake any questionnaire.
I know, but I also did the Tovo test.
Yeah, well, no, maybe you're just slow in the head. Maybe you don't
Baby.
have ADD.
Oh my God.
You know?
Okay. Anywho, so he worked at the post office. They said it was grueling because I believe he had to drive 2 hours to work each way.
What a dumbass.
I believe that's what it was. And
Dude,
I think
if you're driving
he
2
was
hours...
also like a retired military
retired
person.
moron. If you're driving 2 hours each way to work, there's something wrong with you.
My
in your
dad
head.
used to, you asshat.
Like I said.
My dad used to drive 2 hours to
That
work
was
each
just
way.
because he wanted to escape your mom, though. There's a big... If you're doing it for a reason like that, that's a good reason. Obviously, you don't want to see your
Escape my mom.
kids. You don't want to see your kids. You don't want to see your wife.
Babe.
And you want to make a 4-hour journey each day in a car, go ahead. But if you're actually like, oh, I just need to work, and you know, move closer to your job. Move closer. Okay? Just do that.
I think that's what it was.
But I totally understand if he didn't want to see your mom. I don't blame him, and I would have driven way farther out of state.
Oh my
So that
gosh.
makes sense. That's a good point.
And so she was a social worker. After 16 months of being married, they decided to take a spontaneous road trip through Monorail in Niagara Falls. This also served as their belated honeymoon. On the night of September 19th, 1961, as they were driving home around 10:30 p.m., a peculiar light in the sky caught their attention. Initially, it looked like a falling star, but it grew increasingly large and bright as they continued their journey. Barney was convinced it was just a satellite. The light seemed to move in tandem with their car, darting behind trees and mountain ridges before reappearing, playing a perplexing game of cat and mouse.
So let me guess.
Curiosity.
Let me guess. Both these people know each other?
What, babe? They're married. Are
I
you
forgot.
fucking kidding?
I drifted off a little bit. So yeah. So they're married, right?
They're married.
Yeah. So of course you can't trust them.
Oh my gosh.
I need two strangers. Have you ever heard of double blind study? Have you heard of this?
Oh my
Have you heard of that
goodness.
concept or no?
Do you see how you always come back to refute something? First, you're like, no, that can't happen. Then you're like, okay, that did happen. Now I need two people to do it. Now I bring you two
I'm
people,
sorry
and
for
you're like,
pointing out obvious things in psychology. You know what I mean? Like how people influence each other. You know what I mean?
well, okay. Anywho,
Sorry.
curiosity got the better
That's
of them.
why I like true crime, because it's like we know that shit fucking happened.
Baby,
we
I
know,
feel like sometimes in the true crime shit, you're like, oh, like that can't be real. Why did they do that? Or like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like even then you still find, like, I can show you something black and white on video and you would still like argue that that's
I
not
guarantee
true.
you can't
If
show
you-
me aliens black and white
I
on
was about
video.
to say, if you saw if I showed you an alien and I said this was my experience, like I was so scared, like this is what I saw and I got
I
it on
for sure
camera,
wouldn't
you would not
believe
believe
you.
me.
No, not you.
Babe, what the fuck?
Because I know you.
What?
Yeah.
Like, what does that even mean?
Because you're very susceptible to having your mind played with, and you also, people believe what they want, like self-fulfilling prophecy type shit. Yeah, if you came to me and were like, hey, I got kidnapped by aliens last night, I'd be like, yeah, you did, 1 second. And then I'd call, what's that call? You like call the police to get you taken to the place.
Oh, like a psych, you would send me to a psych ward.
I would just have them look you up and down and obviously like give you some electric shocks, that type of shit.
Anyhow, curiosity got the better of them and they pulled over to get a closer look. Through her binoculars, Betty saw the white light was actually an object spinning in the air. Barney, she said, if you think that's a satellite or a star, you're being completely ridiculous. Bob.
You need to tell ChatGPT to write a better fucking script.
Stop with the ChatGPT shit. I write this first. It took me 2.5 hours to write. This is literally what she said. This is a direct quote. This was like, quotes. Right. Quote, if you think that's
maybe
a satellite...
have ChatGPT write it. I don't know what it is, but...
Wait, what's wrong with it?
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just giving you a hard time. Go ahead.
Okay. Realizing Betty was right, Barney, though a skeptic like Bob, grew increasingly concerned. The object did not match the characteristic of any known aircraft. About 70 miles past their last stop, things took a sharp turn for the bizarre. The craft descended, hovering just above the treetops, maybe about 100 feet or so. Barney slammed on the brakes, leaving the engine running. His mind was racing. He grabbed a handgun hidden beneath the seat.
Plus, another thing, it's like, how convenient is it, right?
He grabbed his pistol.
Let me say something, right? So back in the day, there used to be like a lot of prophets, okay? And they'd be like, oh, we have these crazy supernatural events. Oh, I split the Dead Sea. Oh, yeah. I turned water into wine. None of that shit has happened now that we can it's like, oh, all of a sudden now that we have cameras everywhere and can go ahead. If there was a real prophet now who could turn water into wine or who could split a sea, we'd be like, yeah, show us so we can videotape that shit. We'll all believe you, right? How convenient that also now that we have cameras everywhere, like trail cams, like you have Google cameras in space, we don't have any great UFO footage.
Oh, are you talking about like the one that happened in Las Vegas? What was it, last year?
That's a good example, yeah.
You're talking about the one that happened in Las Vegas where the aliens were in their backyard, baby?
That's
what
a
about
good
that
example.
one? And they caught it on the cop's body cam, the green light falling from the sky.
Yeah, it's been proven that those people were bullshit.
No, they never disproved the footage that they got on the body cam from the cop. What about that?
I don't know. I can't remember. I have to look into it more. But I'm just telling you that there is no clear and indisputable, like, hey, a Google cam footage of like aliens landing in the middle of nowhere to go to their home base underground. Like, there's none of that shit. And just like there's no modern day prophet that can actually do miracles, right? Because we'd all be tuning in on YouTube to watch a miracle, right? Or to watch an alien. That'd be big, big news. But instead, it's always some weirdo, right, who got laid by some weird white lady who's just telling us things that did not happen. Back to you.
So he grabbed a hidden handgun from beneath the seat and dashed into the dark field, leaving Betty behind. What he saw next? A massive disc-shaped object, flat and round, like a giant unearthly pancake. What in the world is this thing? He thought. Through his binoculars, Barney saw something that made his blood run cold. 8 to 11 humanoid figures staring back at him through the craft, like they were sizing him up or something. They wore glossy black uniforms and caps. All but one of these figures moved to a panel at the rear of the craft. Barney tried to pull out his handgun, but his body wouldn't let him. See, I actually have a theory about this. And my theory is that he was like under some type of hypnosis and that they were like not allowing him to pick up the gun. I don't know. Maybe I watched too many movies. Anywho, frozen with fear, a chilling sense of doom washed over him. He tore back to the car and they sped off while Betty was keeping her eyes on the craft through the window. But the nightmare wasn't over yet. The craft suddenly dropped, stopping directly above their car, in an enormous silent presence that filled their whole entire windshield view. And then, out of nowhere, came a loud rhythmic beeping that came from the trunk. And just like that, within a split second, they felt an overwhelming sense of drowsiness and blacked out. That was their last clear memory before the abduction. Anything to say, Bob?
No, I was just going to be quiet a little and let you spout your nonsense, Go ahead, yeah.
Do you think it's kind of funny that he was going to like try to shoot the craft?
No, I mean, I don't know. You guys are, I know a lot of people out here love this type of shit.
I fucking love it.
Yeah, I know you do. I remember one time where you heard an alien story and then you're like, I'm convinced that aliens are on the bottom of the ocean.
Yes.
And you had like a few crazy talks with your mom. You had a cocktail and you came home fully convinced that there were aliens on the bottom of the ocean. And because I did not believe it, I was the asshole.
I truly believe that they're inside the earth. That's my theory.
Yeah. And because I did not believe your theory with no proof.
Well, because then I think you started to like stigmatize me, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So moving on. They were abducted. They don't really have a memory. So when they next became aware, dawn was breaking and they were inside their home. So the trip that should have taken 4 hours had stretched to 7, leaving them with 3 unaccounted hours. Upon returning, they noticed strange sensations and unexplained anomalies. Betty insisted that her luggage be kept near the back door, and normally she would never keep them there. Their watches ceased to function, and Barney found the strap on his binoculars torn. Although they couldn't recall, the toes of his best dressed shoes were scraped, and he felt an odd compulsion to examine his genitals, finding nothing unusual.
I have that odd compulsion pretty often, and I just examine them with my hands, and I move my nuts because they sometimes get stuck to my legs, so I understand that. Especially like on a hot day, you gotta definitely you get compulsions to examine your balls.
I thought you used ball powder.
No, I only use ball powder if I get like a rash already. I don't really do like preemptive strikes. I do more like a reactive type strategy with that.
Oh gosh, you don't do prophylaxis.
I'm not sure what that is, but I don't wear condoms either.
And
that means, yeah, I don't wear condoms, yeah.
Okay. They both took long showers to cleanse themselves of any possible contamination and sketched what they had seen. Perplexed, the Hills tried to piece together the events that happened that night, but their memories were fragmented. Betty awoke after a few hours of sleep to find her dress damaged and stained with a pinkish powder that blew away when she hung it out to dry. Although it initially discarded, the dress was retrieved and preserved, undergoing analysis by 5 laboratories over the years. Strange, shiny circles appeared on their car's trunk, and compass needles spun widely when brought close to these spots. A point about this, I was watching like a documentary. I can't recall from where, but it was like of these on Indian reservations. People on the Indian reservations were having like these weird UFO events happen, and they decided to assign people from law enforcement to, I guess, track this investigation about these UFOs and like weird occurrences that were happening. And one of the things, like this lady was chased by a UFO and they got a compass, and when they put the compass near the car, it did the exact same thing. The needle would spin like in a crazy like pattern, like or in a crazy circle. So I think it's funny that this was in the 60s and the same thing happened then. How would they know to make that up? Just saying.
I agree with that. Probably not.
Oh my God, babe. Okay, so 10 days after the encounter, Betty began experiencing vivid dreams, which persisted for 5 consecutive nights with remarkable intensity and detail. These dreams ceased after the 5th night, but remained on her mind. She shared them with Barney, who was sympathetic but not deeply concerned. The matter was eventually set aside. By November 1961, Betty began documenting her dreams, one of which involved a roadblock and men who surrounded their car. She lost consciousness but struggled to regain it. Finding herself led through a forest by 2 small men in blue uniforms with military-style caps. Their features nearly human, but with dark hair, eyes, and grayish skin. To uncover more about the missing time, the Hills sought help from Dr. Benjamin Simon. Over the next few months, the couple attended weekly sessions with Dr. Simon. He helped Betty and Barney piece together the fragments of their nightmarish experience. They recalled a vessel landing on their car, putting them to sleep, and gray beings guiding them up a long ramp of the spaceship. Once inside, they were separated and taken to an examination room with curved walls and a glaring light hanging from the ceiling. Each was asked to climb onto a metal table so short that Barney's legs literally dangled over the edge. During the examinations, the beings stripped them of their clothes, plucked strands of their hair, took nail clippings, and scraped their skin. Each sample carefully placed on a clear material that kind of resembled glass. Needles attached to long wires probed their heads, arms, legs, and spines. A large needle about 4 to 6 inches long was plugged into Betty's belly. She thought it was like some sort of pregnancy test or something like that. But after they did it, it left her in agonizing pain. Throughout this ordeal, a being they called the leader stood off to the side watching it all. After Betty's examination, the beings excitedly rushed back into her room. They had just made a shocking discovery. What could this be? It was actually, they found out that Barney's teeth could be pulled out from his mouth. Well, Betty had to explain to them that Barney had dentures, and it was a normal part of human aging, a concept that they couldn't really understand. One of the aliens agreed to let Betty take a book back to Earth, but the other crew members decided to veto this decision, which I totally wish they would have, and they probably didn't do this on purpose because they just don't want us to know about them. That's my theory. In one of the sessions, Barney vividly described the aliens' hypnotic eyes. He said, "Oh, those eyes. They're in my brain," he said, as if he could still feel them pressing against his own eyes. And my interpretation of this is like, I think when he was being under like a hypnotic trance, like under their spell or whatever, I think he literally felt the sensation of like their eyes literally being pressed against his own eyes. Ew, I would die if that happened to me. So creepy. So anywho, Betty's hypnosis sessions revealed details that lined up with her dreams. Her and Barney's sessions basically were all the same with a few minor differences of like the technology that the aliens had and stuff like that. But all of the core memories were eerily consistent with Barney's. So I don't know. I think that's pretty good proof. I don't know why any normal person would seek out this type of attention, especially as a couple. I get one person doing it, but like a couple doing it, especially an interracial couple at this time in the 60s when there's so much prejudice against them. Why draw so much negative attention towards you, especially back in the time when there's a stigma against paranormal stuff? Like, fuck that. No, I'm telling you, these people are the real deal, babe. Anywho, they resumed their lives, sharing their story with friends, family, and an occasional UFO researchers. Anywho, Dr. Simon concluded that the Hills experience was a singular psychological occurrence. They resumed their lives, sharing their story with their friends, family, and occasional UFO researchers, but avoided seeking publicity. In 1966, their story was detailed in The Interpreted Journey, a best-selling book by John G. Fuller,
like your pussy.
which later inspired the 1975 TV film The UFO Incident. Barney Hill passed away from cerebral hemorrhage in 1969 at age 46, while Betty became a notable figure in the UFO community, living until October 17th, 2004, when she passed away from cancer at age 85. And if you guys want to know a fun fact about this, babe, do you know who Angela Hill is, the UFC fighter?
No, because I don't follow women UFC.
I was about to say, so she was like the first black woman.
Also, this reminds me, now that we're talking about women UFC, so I weigh 220 pounds, okay?
Baby, you cannot fucking take one.
I'm out of shape, okay? I'm really not that strong, okay? But I think I could take a woman UFC fighter.
You're so dumb.
That's like
Literally.
135 pounds. Anytime, any place.
Well, maybe that. I thought you were going to say one that was your size. Yeah, I definitely think you could take someone that was like a lot lighter than you. But if you could not take a UFC fighter that's a female that's your exact same size.
No shit.
But you also think that you could beat a professional basketball player who's a female.
Probably.
And you also think that you could beat a professional female baseball player. And you don't play baseball.
No. Basketball?
Yes. Football?
Basketball, no. Eden. Basketball, no.
Babe, this is the first time I've ever heard your ass say that.
College woman player, yeah.
Well, no.
Pro, probably
Baby.
Not. College
is a big deal. Do you know how many times we've argued about this and now you want to say,
some pro players, if you take the worst girl in professional basketball, I could beat her. But I'm thinking, I'm reconsidering. I'm thinking, you know what?
With the age.
Yeah, and some of those are real butchy lesbians, you know. Yeah, I wouldn't take on a volleyball player either. You know, I'm saying things like I'm not
just
good at volleyball.
So you guys know about this, Bob has never said this before. It's always the opposite.
What? I've never brought up volleyball.
I feel like you brought up baseball before. I feel like you could like.
Well, the thing is like I know I really can't swing a bat well, and I don't think I can make contact with a ball. You know what I mean? Same with golf. Like, I know a woman's golf player would crush me. Basketball, I feel, would be pretty close if you had a pro player, because I'm not that bad but for a guy, I'm terrible. You know what I mean? And a guy that, like, plays pickup games on the weekends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no way. I'm not. But, yeah. Cheerleading, no.
Okay, babe. So, anywho, so their granddaughter is actually Angela Hill, and she was the first black woman.
Oh, yeah, that's the lady from 90 Day Fiancé, right? That dates a Nigerian dude?
No, big white lady with a
yeah,
a black
Michael.
guy.
Michael. Don't leave me, Michael.
It's Michael, okay?
And then he's like, yeah, I like America.
Yeah, he
Except
loves
he doesn't
intro.
say it like that. Like,
No.
I like America.
Ooh, yeah.
I like Angela. I like America.
I know. Did you know he actually, like, I heard he's, like, in hiding because she, like, was, like, abusive towards him. And, like, people are, like, hiding him out or something like that.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
He's probably hiding out at another big white lady's
couple.
house.
Yeah, they were my favorite couple on 90 Day Fiancé. But back to the story. Their granddaughter.
And I totally trust that guy. Like, why would a Nigerian dude scam some big old white lady from the U.S.? Like, I would... that doesn't seem like a thing at all.
Oh, my God, babe. So... Their granddaughter is Angela Hill, and she was the first black woman to sign to the UFC in 2014, and she had her first headliner in 2020.
So if you're listening, listening, Angela Hill, I'll take you on any place, anywhere. I will fuck you up.
She's like, what is she like? I think she's like not a featherweight. She's a strawweight.
Yeah, someone reach out to her and just let her know that if she wants to set it up, we can do it anytime, any place. You know. So yeah, the challenge is out there because I don't believe your grandparents one bit. Okay. They're full of shit and you're full of shit.
Oh my gosh.
I don't buy it.
Why do you think they would lie though? And this is going back to the point where I think they were interracial back in the day.
Okay, let me ask you a question to the why do you think they would lie? Okay,
yes,
so do you think then that
attention.
all the people that tell a story that they've seen aliens, do you think they're all telling the truth?
No, I think some of them are lying.
How many? Like what, 50%? What percent if you just had to free ball it?
I don't know, but remember that one guy?
No, if you had to free ball it, what percent?
From that one, I don't know.
Would you think 10%? 20%, 30%?
Maybe I don't know because
I'm saying, can you make a guess?
I'm saying maybe all of the famous ones. Out of all the famous ones, I probably believe like 95% of them.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't.
All of the famous ones, but like all the other ones, like probably not.
Holy shit! And that's why, guys, you play a real dangerous game when you go to date someone that's hot. You know what I mean? It's a dangerous game you're playing because these women, you know what I mean? They're hot, you know, but as thinkers, not the best. You know,
dumb.
But yeah, it's, you know, you get what you pay for.
If I'm not a good thinker, then why am I with you?
Accident. Complete and total accident. You weren't even into me, and you just I happened to trick you into being with me.
Oh my god!
Because you were hot.
Oh
remember? And you used to put out quite a bit, and really good put out too.
Really good.
You know.
Oh boy. So I guess that's it for this week's episode.
If you enjoyed it, please reach out on Instagram.
Yes.
Please tell your mom to tune in every week because we're discussing family-appropriate material for your whole family to enjoy. Please, honestly, like, subscribe, leave us a comment, let us know you enjoy it. It allows us to put more work into the episode. Oh, and by the way, we do have a sponsor for today's episode.
What is it?
It's the Catholic Charities of Oklahoma City. It's a sober house, and they want to sponsor this week's episode. So thank you guys to them. Just remember, Jesus loves fentanyl addicts too. So if you thought he didn't, he does according to that center in Oklahoma City. So thank you, Oklahoma. You guys can definitely beat the fentanyl problem.
So I wanted to add something else. There are some sketches of what they did see. So if you guys want to see those, we'll have them on our Instagram. You guys can follow us at Paranormal Puffs. And if you guys want to email us your crazy stories or crazy Reddits that you get, that's, you know, our email
we're
address.
so small and make no money from this that we will actually respond to you guys. But once we get really big, we're not. We're gonna forget about you guys that got us there.
You're gonna be like that one guy off of.
We're gonna be like Tom Segura. We're gonna sell out. We're gonna just talk about Porsches and shit and like
and poor people.
Yeah, and like banging flight attendants that are 9s and stuff like that. But yeah, you guys have a great week. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next week.
And if you want to email, it's paranormalpuffs@gmail.com. See you guys. Bye.